Technology is amazing, isn't it? Smartphones, the internet, self-driving cars that almost work. It's easy to think technology only makes things better. But like a late-night infomercial, there's a catch. For all the good, technology can be misused. It can be a tool for harm, exploitation, even violating our most private selves. Think about it. Your phone tracks your location. Your smart speaker listens to your conversations. Companies collect your data and sell it like you're a discounted sweater vest. It's creepy. Now imagine that feeling amplified tenfold, applied to people with unique abilities. This isn't science fiction, folks. We're talking about individuals who claim to have psychic abilities. Whether you believe in it or not, the potential for abuse is very real. We're talking about technology being used to spy on, manipulate, and even harm these individuals in ways most of us can't even imagine. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, shaped like Uri Geller bending spoons: psychic abilities. It's a broad term encompassing things like telepathy, clairvoyance, precognition. Now, we're not here to debate the existence of these abilities. That's a whole other show. What matters is that some people claim to have these abilities. And if those abilities are real, think about how vulnerable that makes them. Imagine someone could read your thoughts, sense your emotions, or even predict your actions. It's both fascinating and terrifying. Now imagine technology entering the mix. Devices that can amplify brainwaves, interpret emotional states, or even project thoughts. In the wrong hands, these technologies could be used to exploit, manipulate, or even harm individuals with psychic abilities. It's like giving a loaded gun to a toddler, who also happens to be able to control your mind. Not ideal. Here's where things get tricky. Our legal system, as robust as it tries to be, is largely unequipped to handle cases involving psychic phenomena. How do you prove someone is reading your thoughts if there's no tangible evidence? How do you legislate against the misuse of technology that targets abilities science is still grappling to understand? It's like trying to catch a cloud with a butterfly net. The law, bless its heart, often lags behind technological advancements. By the time a law is passed to address a specific issue, technology has already moved on to create 10 more problems and a disturbingly realistic hologram of Elvis. This gap between technology and the law leaves individuals with psychic abilities in a precarious position. They are vulnerable to exploitation and abuse with little legal recourse. It's like being stuck in a phone tree designed by Kafka himself. Now let's talk about who might be interested in exploiting individuals with psychic abilities. We're not talking about your friendly neighborhood psychic doing readings for $20 and a slice of pie. We're talking about powerful entities, governments, corporations, criminal organizations. Think about it. The ability to read minds, predict the future, influence thoughts. These are valuable assets for anyone looking to gain an edge, whether in espionage, market manipulation, or good old-fashioned crime. It's like having a cheat code for reality. And power, as we all know, corrupts. Imagine a world where governments use psychic individuals for surveillance, corporations exploit them for profit, and criminal organizations leverage their abilities for nefarious purposes. It's a dystopian nightmare that might be closer to reality than we'd like to admit. And like a public restroom after a chili cook-off, it's not pretty. Section 5, the Patriot Act, a tool for good or evil. Remember the USA Patriot Act? Passed after 9/11, it gave the government sweeping powers of surveillance in the name of national security. While its intentions might have been good, like a well-meaning but ultimately disappointing fruitcake, the Patriot Act has been criticized for eroding civil liberties. Now, imagine how this law, with its broad reach and loose interpretations, could be used against individuals with psychic abilities. The government could argue that monitoring their thoughts or activities is necessary to prevent terrorism or maintain national security. This isn't just paranoia, folks. History is littered with examples of governments abusing their power to spy on and control their citizens. From McCarthyism to COINTELPRO, the line between protecting the public and infringing on individual rights can be blurry, like the moral compass of a politician trying to explain a suspicious campaign donation. Section 6. Digital assault, new ways to harm. We've talked about how technology can be used to spy on and manipulate individuals with psychic abilities. But the potential for harm goes beyond mere surveillance. We're talking about digital assault, where technology is weaponized to inflict pain, distress, or even physical damage. Imagine devices that can bombard the mind with overwhelming sensory input, induce debilitating headaches, or even trigger seizures. These technologies exist, and in the wrong hands, they could be used to torture and incapacitate individuals with psychic abilities. This isn't science fiction, folks. We've already seen examples of sonic weapons being used to target diplomats and embassy staff. The idea of using similar technology to target the mind is not far-fetched. It's like the dark side of innovation, where progress takes a detour through a haunted house designed by Stephen King. Section 7. Real-world echoes. They're not alone. Now you might be thinking, John, this all sounds a bit out there. Are there any real-world examples of this happening? Well, buckle up, because the answer is a resounding yes. And it's about as comforting as a back massage from a bear wearing oven mitts. Take the case of this individual who claims to be a psychic experiencing technological violations. They allege their thoughts and feelings are being monitored, manipulated, and used against them. They even claim involvement of various actors, including criminals, law enforcement, and even foreign entities. While it's difficult to verify the validity of these claims, they highlight the very real fear and vulnerability felt by individuals who believe they are being targeted for their abilities. And like a suspicious mole that turns out to be a delicious chocolate treat, it demands further investigation. Section 8 Justice, Where Art Thou? The struggle for recognition. So, what can be done? How can we protect individuals with psychic abilities from technological exploitation and abuse? Well, the first step is acknowledging the problem. We need to create a space where these individuals feel safe coming forward with their experiences without fear of ridicule or disbelief. Then, we need to strengthen our legal framework to address the unique challenges posed by technology and psychic phenomena. This might involve creating new laws, amending existing ones, or simply providing clearer guidelines for law enforcement. It won't be easy, but like parallel parking a unicycle on a tightrope, it's not impossible. We need to approach this issue with compassion, open-mindedness, and a commitment to protecting the rights of all individuals, regardless of their abilities. Section 9. A Call for Change. Protecting the Vulnerable Mind. We live in a world where technology is rapidly evolving, blurring the lines between science fiction and reality. As we embrace the wonders of innovation, we must also be mindful of its potential for harm. We must ensure that technology is used ethically and responsibly, protecting the rights and dignity of all individuals. This includes individuals with psychic abilities who are particularly vulnerable to technological exploitation and abuse. We must listen to their stories, believe their experiences, and fight for their right to live free from fear and harm. The future of our society depends on our ability to embrace diversity in all its forms, including diversity of mind. Let us create a world where everyone feels safe, respected, and valued, regardless of their abilities. After all, a mind is a terrible thing to waste, especially if someone is trying to hack into it. And that's our show, everyone.